Hi guys, welcome back. Hiking or backpacking solo, especially as a girl or a female. It's a thing, right? And I think it always be for several people. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on what not to do when you are afraid of solo hiking or backpacking. Okay, it's true. It needs some confession to go outside on your own. You have to have a sort of a bravery maybe. And yes, it might not be safe everywhere in the world, but if you are in a location where it is safe to go outside on your own, I only can recommend to do it because it is so much fun to do. And yes, it can be lonely sometimes, but it also brings a lot. You can reflect on so many things. You can do the things that you like, the things that you prefer doing. Just doing things that make you happy without having to take a look at somebody else. And I think that if you can get yourself over that line of fear, that it would be totally great to give it a chance. And therefore, I would like to give you some tips for things that you would like not do when you are afraid of it, because those things can make your fear a little bit worse, and that's absolutely not worth it.
And of course, the biggest thing that I can give you as a tip, if you have the chance, take a dog with you. They can give you a lot of distraction and a lot of extra comfort.
Tip number 1, do not watch scary videos in advance. You see those videos a lot on YouTube with titles like "Somebody sneaking around my tent," "We had a visitor at night," "An animal was at camp last night," "I passed a scary figure out on the trail." Those videos will make you scared because those people have experienced something, but it doesn't mean that it will happen to you as well. And 99.9 out of the trails that you are doing, the times that you are camping out in the woods, nothing's gonna happen. You are meeting nice people, you are having a great time. And if you are already afraid to meet other people, have scary encounters, then do not watch those videos. Tip number 2, do not force yourself to cross your boundaries. If you know that you are feeling safe until a specific point, stay under that point. Do not force yourself to go over it, especially not when you are beginning with solo hiking or backpacking, because if you are crossing your boundary, chances will not be very big that you will be going out again. So if you know your boundary, stick to that one and do not let other people force you to cross that boundary. If you feel safe until a specific point, stay to that point, because it's your solo hike and you are the one that has to be safe and feel safe. And everybody else can say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. If it doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. Tip number 3, do not be ashamed to ask somebody to be nearby. If you are, for example, not afraid of hiking alone during the day, but the idea of staying at a campsite on your own at night is the one that gives you the fright, then ask somebody to go with you and you can do the hike together. If you are known, you know from yourself that that's not a problem for you, just have a great day together, go out, and when you come at camp, split up. You take one part of the campsite and your companion takes the other part of the campsite, and it can be in a distance that you can see each other, it can be in a distance that you cannot see each other. Just do what makes comfortable to you. You do not have to be ashamed of that. If that gives you comfort, then don't be. It will help you to increase your good feeling about being out there at camp, in your tent or in your hammock solo, and that will bring you a lot. That will bring you a lot for the future. So do not be ashamed to ask anybody to be nearby. I mean, you do not have to spend the night together. It's just for your feeling. That is just good that you know that there is somebody around. That if you hear things that make you scared, if you hear things that gives you an uncomfortable feeling, then you know somebody is nearby and you can check out with them. Tip number 4, do not go to places where you do not feel comfortable. If you, for example, are feeling fine in the mountains because they are open, it's not that dark at night because you have the light from the moon coming down to you. It is an open space, so it's obviously less dark than it is in the woods. And if you feel comfortable with that, but the woods give you a fright, then go into the mountains if you have the mountains nearby. I mean, you do not have to search for situations that make you scared. It is important to come to the point that you start feeling comfortable. So if you can find a location that you know from yourself that is fine, do that. Do not force yourself to go to a specific location that you do not like it. If you are afraid of the woods, then don't go there in the beginning. You will get there eventually. And tip number 5, do not leave home without a backup plan. What I did in the beginning, and sometimes I still do when I know that the trail might be a little bit sketchy or it is an area that I'm not familiar with, I print out a map. I give that to my mom because she's my backup at home. And what I do is I mark specific points on that map. For example, every hour I mark a point, roughly every hour. You know your own hiking speed, so you know when you will be where every other hour. And what I do is that every hour I either call my mom, I send my mom a message depending on if I have any cell phone service or not. If you're having something like a Garmin InReach, you always can send messages out. And I always send a message, I'm now at point 1. An hour later, I'm sending a message, I'm now at point 2. And that goes like that all day. So in case something happens, then my mom knows, oh, she last contacted me at point number 2. That's about 2 hours ago. So if she's going to call emergency services, she can give an indication to them where I am. So I must be between point 2 and 3 normally. So that's a backup that you can have, which you can also have as a backup. Your car nearby, for example. If it is your first time going out and you feel really scared and you think that you are not going to make it through the night, make sure that your car is nearby. Park your car at a trailhead, walk 1 or 2 kilometers, put up your tent there. That'll be fine for the first time, you know. Distance doesn't matter in the beginning. You will grow into that one and you will feel more comfortable with longer distances when your experience is growing. So make sure that you have the backup plan, that if it gets too much to you at night, you get too scared, you know that your car is about 1-2 kilometers away. And if you are brave enough to pack up camp, you do that. If not, you just take your valuables with you, go back to your camp, go back to your car, drive back home, because you obviously want to make sure that you're not far from home as well for your first time, and go back the next morning to pick up your tent. And that will give you a comforting feeling that there is a way out if it gets too much for you. These were my 5 tips on what not to do when you are afraid of solo hiking or backpacking. And I know it can be a big step to do it, especially when you have a lot of people around you who telling you, you shouldn't do that, it's dangerous, that's going wrong. And there are situations that things are going wrong, but when you are prepared well, the chances, of course, are getting less and less. And the chances of you having a great experience are getting bigger and bigger. And by time, you will increase in your confidence, in yourself, in the whole situation, in the whole thing of being outside on your own. Because even although you are a girl or female, you are capable and able of doing it. Feel free to contact me. I'm doing it for years now and I feel comfortable enough. I only had 2 less comfortable situations in all those years, never been really scared. So I hope that I can give you some tips. If you would like to have extra tips, please contact me. If you would like to have any specific questions, please contact me. And if you would like to have the situation of that you can hike together but you would like to spend the night alone within a fairly reasonable distance of somebody else, contact me as well. If we live close to each other, I would like to join you. No problem at all, because I would absolutely like to give everybody the chance of feeling comfortable outside alone. And if I can help you out on that one, and would you like to plan a trip together, just an overnighter, contact me. That's no problem at all. I would be happy to meet you. If you like this video, please give us a like so you can help this channel grow. Subscribe to the channel and notify the alarm bell. And then, as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.